Hi, and welcome to the first in our series, which is AI in Education. I'm Tina Singh, and this is Tina's Take on AI. It is being sponsored today by the AI, and I'm really excited to have Liaqua Pruitt with us today, who is over the last 20 years, Dr. Pruitt has honed her skills in education in a variety of different roles and environments, in spanning both public and private schools, from Georgia to Nevada to Massachusetts. And her mission has always been to create spaces that inspire children to love and enjoy learning. And armed with a doctorate in education in curriculum and instruction, she dedicates her time to researching and teaching best practices, particularly focusing on incorporating diversity, equity, and social justice into the classroom instruction. Dr. Pruitt currently lives in Boston, and she serves as the associate head of school at the Advent School, a progressive independent school in Beacon Hill that is grounded in social justice and Reggio Emilia practice.
Yeah.
Yes. So welcome. Thank you so much. We had a conversation earlier just about what this series is really designed to do, which is talk about with different heads of schools across the country, and also in different geopolitical and economic circumstances, what their take on AI is in both the classroom and operationally. So I'm just going to kick it out with the first question, which is, from a very broad perspective, how are you seeing AI in the classroom, and are you adapting your curriculum to sort of meet that changing environment that we're living in every day?
Well, first, let me say thank you, Tina, for the invitation to be here with you today. AI is a big thing in the world right now, and I think that it is a resource and a tool that we can't do without, especially if we are preparing our students for the future. We have to make sure that they are able to use these tools and these resources just like they can use pen and paper, just like they can use their computers, because this is going to be the way of the world. So we are incorporating it in our classrooms, in the operations of our schools. I think that it's definitely been beneficial to us. We are looking at it at the positive benefits. We are a pre-K through sixth grade school, so we don't have our students running around with phones and on social media like many of the high school students are doing. So we're able to teach students how to use it in a safe way, in a productive way, and to let it be something that can help them with their learning.
And now, are you concerned at all? I mean, one of the things that I think I've heard pretty consistently is, especially in kids that age, how are you sort of making sure that they're retaining critical thinking and things that sort of define us as human beings?
That's a great question. So we do a lot of project-based learning here. The practices of Ratio is about students being advocates with their learning, and they are definitely hands-on with everything. So they get a lot of, they're still doing a lot of thinking, a lot of problem solving with each other. A lot of times we require for them to come up and design a plan before they even get started with their projects. So before they can even get on their laptops and start to incorporate AI, they have to think about it first. They have to sit and think about what they're going to use, how they're going to use it, why is it going to be beneficial to use the software rather than not using it. So they're going through all of those thought processes prior to even using the resources and even using AI. So they're still putting in the work.
It sounds like you're creating the next generation of CEOs.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're doing. We're prepping them now on the ground floor because they're going to be the ones who are going to run the world in another 15 to 20 years. It's going to be these children right here.
Yeah, it's astounding as a former CEO of multiple different entities. I wish someone had taught me how to do that. We had to kind of learn that on the fly.
We did because it came to us so fast.
Yeah. And the tools are pretty incredible now, so it's really important that they understand how to use them effectively, I guess is what my observation is, and I'd love to get yours.
Yes, yes, it is. Especially because we have a vast array of learners in the classroom. So, although we are a co teaching model school, which means we have two full-time teachers in the classroom, it's still not enough to spend hours upon hours with each child individually. And although our curriculum definitely is designed to support them, some students, well, all students, need that individualized attention and time to build more on the areas where they're gifted and also to build up the areas where they're challenged. And so using AI tools helps us with that. So if we have learners, for example, who need extra time and extra support with their reading, there are resources that they're able to use with that, or extra support and time with their math or their writing or just exploring. They can do that individually on their own to get that extra assistance to help them to be better students. And again, they they own that. They feel ownership of their education, and they're a part of making those decisions. So it's definitely been beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, as a mother of a sixth grader, I understand, the use of AI in especially math, because the math, the way that it's being taught today, is not the way that I've learned it, so I can't help. So the fact that we're able to go to, some of the AI tools and say, okay, not just give me the answer, but explain how you're reaching that answer. That's
Yes.
really, in this form, that's really, I think, key. Now, how have teachers reacted to AI? Because that's really interesting. I mean, we all kind of know from a high level, but in the classrooms, have teachers sort of adapted it, or is there resistance?
I think I think in the beginning there was some resistance. Um, Anytime you're introducing anything new into spaces, you're going to get a little resistance
Yeah.
because people don't understand why it's necessary, why it's needed. But I think our teachers here have definitely grasped the idea and accepted it that this is what the world is now. And in order to prepare our students, they have to be prepared. They take time to learn and research themselves, different tools and resources that they can use in the classroom with students. They're taking professional development on how to best utilize these things so they can or incorporate them into the classroom. They are also there is resources for families to tell them about various tools that they can use at home. So we have some that students can access in school and at home so that they can continue to have the support that they need with their growth. To be honest, sometimes kids bring in things to us that they know.
Yeah, yeah. I
We
mean, it's
figure
the technology is like developing so fast. It's like you can't keep track.
yes.
Every day I find a new tool that I'm like, oh, that's just amazing.
Right. And things that are cutting down time
Yes.
for us. Some things that took a long time for us to do now, it's cutting the time. And kids grow up to be adults, and our adults now who are wonderful faculty in our building, some of them use these tools to help them to complete tasks.
Yeah.
We talked about children that have learning differences. Well, they also grow up to be adults who have learning differences. So being able to utilize things that can help you out, to let you talk to type, or to help you edit things that take a long time to edit if you're going in and you're printing it out and you're reading it. So things that can help you to do that, or to make suggestions to you, or Even myself, I often will use AI tools to record meetings that I'm in, to take notes for me while I'm in meetings. So that way I'm able just to focus and give the people in that meeting my undivided attention. And then I can go back later on and reread those notes, um, and follow up with the task that I'm supposed to follow up with, because maybe I missed out. I wasn't writing down fast enough, but the AI tool took wonderful notes for me. So,
Yeah.
um,
What I love about those programs, I use them religiously, is it tells you what the follow up items are because you're going to
yes.
forget. You know, you're like, oh, what was I meant to do when I hung up the phone?
Yes.
So I love those. No, I mean, we obviously, one of the things I was going to ask you is like from an operational perspective. One of the things that the growth stack does is sort of automate everyday functionality.
Yes.
So that's one of the things that I think it's just starting. Like as I talk to schools around the country, that managing the enrollment process, doing things that are very mundane and routine.
Yes.
AI is sort of stellar at that, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that generally.
Yes, it's definitely helping us with the enrollment process. It's helping us, like right now, we're getting ready for back to school. So it's helping us to collect data that needs to be collected from families, going through and researching for us and identifying which families have not completed which forms and which data, and then
Oh my
reaching
gosh,
out to
yeah.
those families and following up to say, hey, just a reminder, you need to complete these particular forms.
That was my
Where
nightmare at school when I ran my schools. Oh my God, just the follow up of documentation was like I had to hire somebody exclusively to do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I mean, we have somebody who checks
Yeah.
the list, but now that somebody can actually, the
Use
tool
tools.
itself is
Yeah.
actually going through and providing us with the reports. We're not having to collect all the paperwork ourselves and correlate the paperwork and
Yeah.
sort through and make lists and all of that. So it is saving us an enormous amount of just time and creating organizational tools that are exceptional.
Yeah, it's astounding, and it's getting better every day, right? It's just incredible. And then from do you feel like, I mean, it doesn't sound like you felt this, but it's one of the questions I thought was interesting is, do you think that school leadership is under pressure to use AI?
No, I don't think that we're under pressure to necessarily use it. I think that we've accepted the fact that it is necessary,
Yeah.
in order for us to continue to do the wonderful work that we're doing. Again, we're preparing today's children to be tomorrow's leaders,
Yeah.
and so we have to think ahead. We have to think of the tools and the resources, that they're and the strategies that they need, that they're going to need. We have to start building that foundation for them now. So I think we've just accepted it for what it is, and embracing the whole idea. It's just part of the educational cycle. It's constantly evolving, and so we have to always evolve with it.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense actually because, like we were just talking about, it's kind of what the internet was in the 90s. It's like it's here to stay, and we have to figure out how to make it not be dangerous.
Yes.
Basically.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. And that's
um,
what we're doing with our students, trying to make
yeah,
sure that they understand how to use it, correctly and properly, wisely, safely.
yeah. Now, are you? I think one of the things that we were talking about is using AI learning. I wasn't talking with you, but with a different school who has budgetary constraints, and so they're looking to use sort of an AI classroom for some portion of the day, so that they can keep the quality of teachers for the balance. Now, I thought that was actually quite brilliant, and I don't know kind of what your thoughts are. And obviously, it's a different kind of learning, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I think that, I mean, it's not something that we're using at the Advent school. Again, our kids are younger, but I think that, like our experience going through COVID has showed us that, tools such as that, can make a difference. We
Yeah.
can do online learning. There are plenty of, schools that are doing online teaching. We have a lot of our faculty who take advantage of professional development that is that they can do on their own time, at any time that they can, whether it's before school, during their lunchtime, after school, at night. And so I think that having that flexibility to learn at your own pace, to learn when it's convenient for you, is wonderful. And I
I
think
mean,
that
like
that's
even
what
Harvard and MIT have free cloud courses. It's crazy.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that is great. It allows you to have, as you were saying, for you to not have those budget constraints because you're not paying full-time faculty, to be present at certain times to do that. And so it allows you to enroll as many students as you like on
Yeah.
a platform. It allows you to, again, to for it to be convenient. People can take advantage of it, when they need it. They can do it at a scheduled pace or at their own pace. But I think that's wonderful. It definitely supports, a variety of learners to meet them where they are.
And what do you think some of the challenges, if you think about this school year that we're starting now, what do you think for Advent, or like what kind of challenges are you envisioning that you might come across? And it doesn't have to be AI related; it could be just generally.
I think like most schools, as you said, there's always a budget constraint because these things are not cheap. I mean, I think that they definitely put out programming that, at discounted rates to support schools. So we always have to make sure that we're allocating funds, to utilize those things. But I think, making sure our technology is always up to par, because as technology is evolving, it's requiring for us to make sure that, our systems need to be upgraded constantly, and that we have, our Chromebooks and our iPads can definitely meet, and hold the level of technology that is being required these days. So I think that part, too, is probably going to impact us the same way that it, impacts, other schools.
Yeah.
So just making sure that we're staying on top of the on top of business, making sure that, again, that our faculty is definitely staying on top of what's trending. And so that's part of my job. Part of our, division heads' jobs are just to constantly do research, make sure that we're looking at all the things that are out, that are coming out, things that are making it, um, easy and better, and again, fun. You
Yeah.
want, learning to always be fun, for kids, or else they're not going to be quite attracted to it.
Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way when I did the summer school with financial literacy with a classroom of 8 to 13 year olds, and I had a very, developed curriculum, and then after like day two, I threw it all out and started over with like games.
Yes, because the kids will tell you this is boring,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't want to do this anymore.
I like it was the hardest thing I've ever done is teach those kids over the summer. I was like, what was I thinking? But it was so rewarding and excellent. But yeah, I quickly learned, forget how you want to present it. You have to present it where they are.
You have to present it where they are. And again, I think that with AI, for example, when they're doing, testing or standardized testing, the testing and the programs are built, specifically for each student. So depending on how you answer the question, if you get the questions correct or if you get the questions incorrect, the next questions that are generated are going to, are based on that. They're going to support you where you are with your learning. They're going to measure you where you are. And so I think that is helpful
Yeah,
because,
that's big.
um,
That's big. Yeah.
that is big. So that it gives all students, the opportunity to show what they know, what they
Yeah.
are capable
Yeah.
of.
That's incredible. I did not know that. That's outstanding because kids learn at different paces, they learn in
Yes.
different ways, and it's really important to not judge them by the same yardstick, I think, which is how I remember growing up, where the yardstick was the same yardstick. It didn't matter where you were on that
Exactly.
spectrum, you know, so it was,
Exactly. There was one way
yeah,
and one system, and that was it. And we were all taught the same way. And if you couldn't learn the same way, it wasn't the system that was wrong, it was you.
right,
Something was wrong
right.
with you. But now, again, we've evolved so much in education, realizing no, it was actually the system that was broken, not the children.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we're constantly adjusting the system to make sure that the students can get the support that they need because they all have the capability of learning and accomplishing the goals. They're just going to do it in their own way, in their own time.
Yeah, perfect. Now, we talked about challenges. Where do you see opportunity in the next school year?
Wow, I think the opportunity is endless, especially with these geniuses we have in this building. They're amazing. For example, watch them create their own movies.
Wow,
They Yes, they
amazing.
build things out of cardboard or out of Legos, and they move it a little bit at a time and create movies. They've learned how to make backdrops like a green screen, and they're doing things that I couldn't do at their age. That it's remarkable how they've adapted to these tools so much faster than the adults in the building. Like I said, they teach us stuff every day. They're like, why are you using that program? Don't you know about this one? This one does it a lot better, a lot faster, more precise. And I'm like, show me, show me. Um, so
Yeah.
I think as long as we continue at the Advent School to allow students to be a part of their learning, to bring their ideas and put them on the table. We love them to try things. Our motto around here is try it. And if it doesn't work, let's sit down, figure it out, talk about it, examine it, figure out where we went wrong with it, why it didn't work, what do we need to do to make it work, and let's try it again. And so we take the basis, and we use the standards as our base, but then we allow our students to just go, to just run and be creative and do so many things because they can and they
Yeah.
want to. And so we encourage them, and AI just allows them to go beyond. And so we're going to keep letting them do it.
That's so amazing. And it's a perfect spot to end the call. So thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it. And, your perspective is so encouraging. I wish I had teachers like you when I was growing up because I loved school. And I just imagine how much more fun it would be with all of the tools that are available today. It just would be so much more fun. And I loved it at the time when it was books and pens and papers. But
Well, thank you. I believe that that's what school should be. It should be a place where you can come in and you can be authentically who you are, and you should be able to explore and learn all the things without limitations. And
amazing.
then take those things out into the world and see how you can make it better. And that's what we're trying to do. And AI is definitely helping us.
Well, thank you so much. I really look forward to continuing conversations, and thank you to our guest, and thank you, audience, for listening. And hopefully, we'll continue this dialogue with the next guest, which we're going to be talking in the next few days. So, thank you so much, Dr. Pruitt. I appreciate it
Thank
so much.
you.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hang on one second.